SeaWeek is all about one ocean, too much love, turning the tide, which is really thinking that we all love this ocean, but we don't really care about it enough. So we like to swim in the sea, but we also pour our pollution into it. And we like to eat kaimoana from the sea, but we also want to conserve the animals and the balance of the ecosystem there. So those things conflict with each other, and that causes problems.
My one's the band with no name, ... because we didn't have a name.
And our one's Awesome Foursome.
Plus me.
Plus Josh.
Are you a songwriter?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Well, all of us are actually.
So you're both playing drums?
Yeah,
Yep, for different bands.
he's my song.
Yeah, we went down to the workshop and then we started to record our song. Had a bit of fun there. It's really good.
So I'm from the council with Sustainable Coastlines and Watercare Harbour Cleanup Trust. We did a cleanup of the Miola Creek. Yeah, picked up 900 kilos of rubbish in an hour. It's a lot if you think of it mainly being Moro bar wrappers and things like that, and straws and plastic bottle tops. I mean, of course there were a few tyres and a few ironing boards and stuff like that.
So there's a sense of, greater community knowing what's going on, getting the information out.
This event was kick-started by a local guy, Alan Page, who's just out of the picture. He's basically a guy who wanted to do something useful in his area, so we helped him along with the practical side of things. So today we've got Avondale Primary, we've got Avondale Intermediate, and we've got a wealth of local people came out to do a litter pick in Tony Sedgton Reserve. So I work for Friends of the Foe, and we're about involving a community in litter picks.
I do have a factory that backs onto the river, and that's how I got involved originally, yes.
Ideally, I try to work with people who are maybe creating part of the problem. So we work with disadvantaged youth, people who are maybe out there crashing places, and we try to get them to come out and, see what the impacts are.
The factory doesn't involve much that's detrimental to the river at the moment, but it used to, but it doesn't now, yeah.
We also work with the wider community as well, working with kids through the educational side. It's brilliant. They appreciate what they're doing and the impact of dropping litter, it going down the stormwater drains into our streams, into our beaches. Yeah, get them young. That's what you want to do.
We've just been cleaning up rubbish because people leave their rubbish all over the place along there. We even found a long wood thing that's fallen off a tree and no one's cared about it. We've collected bits of paper, chip bags and plastic things. Don't leave rubbish all over the place. It's called littering and it's bad for the environment. And put it in the rubbish bin.
Don't be selfish with the shellfish, 50 cockles, 10 power, 50 pippies, yeah, that's the way. I said, respect the shellfish every day. If not, then just go away. I said.
We had about 70 entries altogether, and there are 35 in this exhibition. We've got a few from Christchurch, Nelson, Blenheim, and a lot from local artists as well. I think the sculpture here, the 3D sculpture Ramon Robertson's, probably best illustrates all the aspects of the estuary. So it's quite humorous because it's got the birds actually acting as humans, sort of putting up construction and taking them down again as well, and it's just a really thoughtful piece.
What they do for whitebaits, they migrate. So they have to go out to the sea, spend their winter in the sea, and then around spring they started to come back. But now, because of human intervention, it's even harder for them to get back to the stream. What we found when we caught the fish, it was not one of the native fish. It's actually the introduced species that will actually attack our native fish.
What a pity, what a pity. I had to let that snapper go. To my surprise, it was on the sides. Had to let that snapper go. What a pity, what a pity. I had to let that snapper go. To my surprise, it was on the sides. I had to let that snapper go.
We have an arrangement of activities to bring children's focus to SeaWeek and the sort of impacts that humans have on the ocean. So at the moment we have a trawl net and a set net that have been left behind in the ocean. They're still catching animals, but we want them to think about disposal of paint when they're painting. If they pour it down the outside drain again, it will impact on the penguin. If they pour it down an inside drain, it will be filtered out at the wastewater treatment station. If they are at the beach and they see this beautiful ocean, and unbeknownst to them, this little penguin has swam itself through a plastic bag that was floating in the ocean. How did that plastic bag get there? But what we're finding more and more is that children will say, I shouldn't have a plastic bag in my lunchbox. To start as early as they can learn to speak.
And how old are you?
4. And I'm 7.
Sushi. Always good.
Don't be selfish with the shellfish,
So turning the tide is all about making a difference to that, not caring enough.
Anything helps, yes.
Always the raising consciousness, but it's also asking the question, well, how does that empower? What will you do?